faithfully perform the duties
and will faithfully perform the duties
of the office of Governor
upon which I am about to enter
to the best of my ability. Congratulations.
With that, Colorado has a new governor. Jared Polis took the oath of office on the west steps of the state capitol on Tuesday, making history as the 43rd person to hold that position and the first openly gay man to be elected governor in the country. Welcome to Politics Unplugged. I'm Anne Trujillo. Governor Polis is in the unique position of being a Democratic governor at a time when Democrats control both houses of the state legislature and Colorado's other elected statewide positions. Now, on Thursday, he gave his first State of the State address before a joint session of the legislature. The governor's message was about taking risks and being bold. Governor Polis dedicated a good portion of his speech to focusing on your child's education. He said his priority is free full-day kindergarten for all Colorado kids, and he set a target date by the fall. Right now, the state only mandates districts to offer free half-day kindergarten, and parents can pay $500 or more a month for the other half-day. And that doesn't mean kids will be forced to go to kindergarten.
When we talk about kindergarten or preschool, that's not a mandate either for parents or for school districts whatsoever. For school districts who want to offer these vital opportunities for families, we here at the state want to work with you to do everything possible to make that happen.
The governor also focused on health care reform, saying he wants to work with the legislature on ways to import prescription drugs from Canada to lower medication costs for all Coloradans. He also called for the immediate creation of the Office of Saving People Money on Health Care, led by Lieutenant Governor Diane Primavera. And that's not the only immediate change he wants.
As a first step on our budget package coming up next week on the 15th, I will be including a formal request to provide parental leave for all state employees.
Governor Polis also spoke about tax reform, taking a few swipes at President Trump, calling his tax law a giveaway to the most influential corporations in the country. The governor said he wants to level the playing field to make corporations doing business in Colorado pay more.
It's time to cap the vendor fee, which is a giveaway to the largest, most influential and profitable retailers in the nation, and use the savings to lower tax rates to benefit small businesses and millions of working Colorado families.
Now, afterward, we heard from House Minority Leader Patrick Neville about the governor's to-do list that he presented to the legislature, and he said there's no indication of how these powerful and widespread policy changes proposed by the governor will be funded. Inevitably, Neville says, the middle class will be hurt year after year. Now, I sat down with the governor shortly after that State of the State address to dig a little deeper into some of his priorities. And Governor Polis has some big ideas, yet is short on specifics. So, you ever going to take those blue shoes off? You've hit the ground running already.
Well, you know, it's sort of like when you buy into something, it's sort of they've become iconic. But no, I don't wear blue shoes every day. But we still have the blue sneakers on today. But you'll probably see me with I don't know, lavender, orange, you name it. I got a bunch of different sneakers at home.
Perfect. Can't wait to see the arrangement. Okay, so free kindergarten, which sounds great, and you say the money's already there. So where is the money? And do we have the infrastructure in place already to make this a reality in the fall?
So our state funds half-day kindergarten, and so what parents experience, if you have a kindergarten-age kid in Jeffco or Denver or Boulder, you have to pay often $300, $400 a month, even more for full-day kindergarten. Most states, Oklahoma, our neighboring state, has full-day kindergarten. In the budget that we'll be presenting next week, we will reflect free full-day kindergarten in Colorado, effectively funding kindergarten just like we fund first grade, meaning, yeah, kids ought to be able to go to kindergarten for free. I should point out that some kids go to kindergarten free today in our state, and you might, parents in other districts like Pueblo might say, hey, my kid goes to school for free. That's because what the district is doing is they're actually taking money out of grades 1 through 12 to fund free kindergarten, because the state's not. So what kindergarten also means is more resources to reduce class size and pay teachers better, because currently they're effectively subsidizing kindergarten.
So we have the infrastructure in place to make it happen?
Again, almost all districts and most elementary schools have half-day kindergarten. And in fact, many of the schools already deliver full-day kindergarten. Parents simply have to pay for it. So this is simply a question of largely what is in place being free. There could be additional parents that want it. There will certainly be repurposing of some classrooms in some districts, but by and large, we already do this. We just don't pay for it. And so we're trying to honor the state's commitment to make sure that kids get a strong start and that families don't have to pay $400 a month.
All right, you talked about the creation of saving people money on health care. Some people laughed in the gallery. But what happened to your campaign message of universal health care?
Well, the first stage in expanding access is reducing costs. We focused laser-like on the fact that we're getting ripped off on health care costs, paying too much on prescription drugs, too much on insurance. There's a lot of different agencies that deal with healthcare. They have various bureaucratic names. We wanted to cut through all that and say, look, let's create an office of saving people money on healthcare that will work as the focal point to figure out how we can import prescription drugs from Canada at lower rates, how we can institute a reinsurance pool in the state to prevent the very highest cost cases from driving up premiums for the rest of us.
So what happened to your promise then?
Our promise was to save people money on health care, and that's why we named the office that.
You mentioned tackling the opioid crisis, addiction issues in our state. What do you think about Denver's idea of injection sites, safe injection sites?
Well, there haven't been any bills introduced about that. Where I think a couple of people have asked me about that. The way I would view it, we obviously have the Colorado Bureau of Investigations, we have the state troopers. Obviously, they have other areas that they're focused on, like criminal syndicates and smuggling and large-scale operations. They're not about to do something that contravenes something that Denver is trying. I am, skeptical of the direction, but I'm a big fan of local control. So I encourage cities to think out of the box in new ways, even if they're ways that I don't like.
You also did not mention the red flag bill, or any kind of red flag bill. Was that on purpose?
Well, I'm sure there's hundreds of things I didn't mention. There's 100 legislators. They each get at least 5 bills. That's 500 bills. We really kept it focused on what I feel is the mandate from the people who elected me by a historic 10.6% margin to provide free full-day kindergarten, to save people money on health care, to help set the state on the path to the renewable energy economy, to save people money and create good green jobs, and then to reduce special interest tax giveaways so we can bring down your tax rate. So we really kept it focused around those big things. I'm sure there's 500 other things we could have talked about, but I would have taken up your whole day.
And Governor Polis did cover a lot of issues, made lofty commitments. We will keep a close eye to see what he does over the next 4 years. So stay with us. We're going to hear from a Republican lawmaker about the GOP's goals for the year when we come back.